Worm sign, movie sign, spider
We got movie
sign,
sign, spider, everything, comic
spider.
book, everything.
It's a big time for
Yes.
comic book stuff. It's Comic Con.
Yeah.
New trailers for stuff. Comic book trailers for stuff. Wolverine game. New Spider-Man movie. Avengers Doomsday trailer talk. Check it out.
Yes, please check that out. There's going to be more trailer talks coming out soon, but not before you check out this episode of WASD and Beyond at the Movies. We are hosts Nick, Noah, and Alex. We're ready to pop in, right, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then let's do it, man. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Please, before you get too deep into this, please remember we are releasing a new show called WASD and Beyond Trailer Talk. Noah created it, so thank you very much, Noah, for that awesome idea. I hope to
You're
make
welcome.
more soon. I have some ideas I really want to float to the boys, but we'll get to that at the end of the show when we plug everything else. But now we are setting up for a new endeavor for WASD and Beyond at the Movies with something different, something we haven't really done on the show that much. And I'm excited to finally take a step out of the creepy and the dark and the gory and talk about something a little bit more fun now, and to show that we're not just sticking to the horror movies now, right? We're doing everything. So, Noah, cue us in, man. What did we watch this week? Where are we going?
Well, we thought we'd take a break from the nitty gritty, the dark and scary, and sometimes silly, but mostly dark and scary world of Sam Raimi into another world of Sam Raimi in Spider-Man 2002. So we're doing this as a sort of preparation for the Spider-Man Brand New Day movie that's coming out at the end of the week. I'm definitely going to see it. I don't know about you guys, but the
I need to catch up.
the series of Spider-Man movies that they've made in the new MCU are pretty decent. I've always really liked the Spider-Man movies, but the first ones that I saw was the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I had seen like bits and pieces. Like the very first Spider-Man movie I saw was Spider-Man 3, which has the most going on. It's got the black suit, it's got Sandman, it's got Venom, all that stuff. What was the first Spider-Man movie you guys watched?
This one.
This one?
Yeah, this one. Absolutely this one. But it wasn't my first encounter with Spider-Man. But.
Right. Well, there were TV shows, cartoons, and there were some live action attempts at a Spider-Man, but it took a long time for them to get this movie. So, as the story goes, since 1975, Marvel Comics had been making plans for a live action Spider-Man movie. In the 80s, they negotiated with producers such as Orion, who you'll remember from their production of The Truman Show. The deal fell through in 1985, and the rights were then licensed to Cannon Films, a B-action movie studio known for Missing in Action and Bloodsport. Marvel felt they could find success bringing the character of Spider-Man to the big screen after the success of Superman in 1978. Stan Lee pitched a story featuring Dr. Octopus as the villain and featured heavily Cold War-inspired themes. Whatever that means for a Spider-Man movie, I'm not really sure. The project fell apart because of too much friction between Stan Lee and the people at Orion Pictures. And by this time, Superman 3 had flopped in the box office, causing everyone to reconsider their hopes for Spider-Man on the big screen.
Okay.
When the licensing rights were brought to Cannon Films by Menahem Golan and Yoron Globus, those are their real names, it became clear that they did not understand the concept of Spider-Man at all, assuming he was a werewolf-type creature instead of a man who has the abilities and relative strength of a spider. They wrote a screenplay in which Peter Parker was subjected to a mad scientist's experiments, which personally I would have loved to see, but it was clear that they fundamentally misunderstood the character. The script was rewritten multiple times, and their first pick was John Cusack for the role of Peter Parker.
What the fuck, dude?
Now, we've seen in the comics, they've explored like a more gruesome version of Spider-Man where instead of a man gaining the spider powers, like the man turns into a spider monster.
Yeah, man spider.
So I think people would have kind of liked that, but I don't know. I don't know if we'll get to that. There might be some of that in the new movie.
I was about to say that, yeah.
And there wasn't there like a fan made short that somebody made.
There may have been a fan made short someone made of Man Spider, but I'm not sure because
Yeah,
basically that if they were to do Man Spider comic, that's like a whole Madam Web type thing, like real Madam
yeah,
Web, not
we
the
know
movie
how
we
that
got.
went.
Yeah, so like it's a whole thing. It's really fucking wild how Peter.
Yeah.
But the new one looks like they're going that way, which is cool.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. But from there, Cannon hired director not Josh, Joseph Zito, known for Invasion USA in 1985. The studio then wanted to cast Tom Cruise in the role of Peter Parker, and casting extended to the rest of the cast for Aunt May, Uncle Ben, and Doctor Octopus. They placed a budget of $20 million on the project, but then cut that budget down to $7 million after another box office flop of Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. Zito did not take that change lightly and left the project. So he was like, "Oh, you're gonna cut my budget? Well, fuck that. I'm leaving." So Menahem Golan also left the studio, and he intended to bring the Spider-Man project to 21st Century Film Corporation in 1989. He was attempting to revive the project using a screenplay and storyboards from the Canon project. He sold the television rights to Viacom and the home video rights to Columbia to finally secure the production funds. He also sold theatrical rights to Carl Loco, who was known for their distribution of Rambo, Field of Dreams, Total Recall, Terminator 2, and
Oh,
Stargate,
son of a
which is
bitch.
where
All right.
James Cameron got involved and signed on to write and direct the film. He had previously talked with Stan Lee about a potential X-Men movie, but he was convinced that Spider-Man would be a good fit for him. Uh, Cameron wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to star as Peter Parker. In a more mature take on the Spider-Man world, he included Electro and Sandman instead of Doc
Cool.
Ock. His version also included more swearing and a sex scene between Mary Jane Watson and Spider-Man on top of the Brooklyn Bridge.
What? What don't
Yeah,
these guys get?
I don't know. It's just we'll see. The budget was set to at 50 million, but progress stalled when Menahem Golan sued the studio for trying to move on with the project without him. So by this point,
It's
Marvel was
not your
seriously
IP.
struggling. Batman and Robin in 1997 solidified the public's idea that comic book movies were for kids only, and the genre was not being taken seriously. No studio was interested in Spider-Man anymore, and the interest was brought back by Blade in 1998 and the development of the X-Men in the early 2000s. Marvel would eventually sell the rights to Sony, who took James Cameron's options but did not use his script and did not ask him to direct. Of course, he had moved on to make some movie about a boat that became a big hit. So they shopped it around, bunch of different directors they talked to. They talked to Michael Bay, John DeBont, Tim Burton, Chris Columbus, M. Night Shyamalan, David Fincher, Roland Emmerich, Baz Luhrmann, and Ang Lee. Personally,
Everybody.
I could think of a bunch of those directors who I would want to see what they do. Like a
They
Tim
would have
Burton
crushed it.
Spider-Man, that'd be crazy.
Shit, Tim
Like
Burton's
Michael
Batmans were
Bay,
great.
yeah, exactly. So it could be like even more, he clearly knew his way around the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
So all of them turned it down except for David Fincher, who suggested using the night Gwen Stacy died comic book storyline.
Oh.
The studio did not approve of that approach, and Fincher chose to go make a movie about a little British boy who goes to a wizard school or whatever.
Oh, well, okay.
So
The-
he did all right.
This is so fun to watch, like Nick's reaction to, because he is a huge comic book nerd. Massive.
Yeah.
Massive. Boxes on boxes. This dude, yeah.
Well, we eventually get the night, Gwen Stacy dies, but it's done too. She falls and he catches her, but it's too late, and it's done really well in the Garfield movie. But I would have loved to see that in the Raimi films.
Yeah. So finally, Evil Dead director Sam Raimi was pitched to direct. He was a longtime comic book fan, but he knew he wasn't the first choice for the studio, and he didn't really seem to care if they chose him or not. But make no mistake, he was very interested. As development started up, the budget ballooned from $70 million to $100 million. Sam
Oh,
Raimi,
yeah.
who was known for his use of practical effects, had no choice but to embrace digital effects for stunts that were physically impossible.
Yeah.
Casting for the role of Peter Parker was critical, and Raimi knew exactly who he wanted. He saw Tobey Maguire in The Cider House Rules in 1998 and knew that he was right for the part. The studio wanted a more traditional action actor for the role, but after his audition, the studio agreed that Maguire would be the right choice. They offered
Mhm.
him $3 to $4 million with a higher option for sequels. Casting for Norman Osborn / the Green Goblin took a while. They cast multiple actors like Nicolas Cage, Billy Crudup, Jason Isaacs, John Malkovich, and Billy Bob Thornton.
All bangers.
Nicolas Cage, as we know, who would later go on to voice Spider Noir in the Spider-Verse animated movies and the Amazon series.
Yes.
But eventually they chose Willem Dafoe, and I think it is definitely the best choice out of all those. I
Mhm.
think a John Malkovich Green Goblin would have been interesting, but I
I
definitely
think it would
think
have been
that,
too much.
yeah, it would have been a bit much. For Mary Jane Watson, Kirsten Dunst was chosen, but many other actors were auditioned too, such as Kate Bosworth, Julia Stiles, Elisa Witt, Kate Hudson, and Elizabeth Banks.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Which
Originally, Stan Lee wanted to play the role of J. Jonah Jameson, but was convinced that he was too old for the character. He did also support the choice for J.K. Simmons in the role, and apparently Hugh Jackman was supposed to make an appearance of Wolverine, but the cameo was scrapped when the production realized they didn't have a costume for him.
Oh.
And if you go back, I think it's on one of the earlier X-Men movies, but in the outtakes, there is an appearance of somebody wearing a Spider-Man suit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they were gonna do some cross
Mhm.
promotion there, but my guess is they just wanted to do it. Hugh Jackman showed up and they were like, "Oh fuck, we don't have a costume." So after a long production filled with new effects techniques, costume changes, new designs, script changes, Spider-Man finally released in May of 2003, grossing $39.4 million on its opening day, which is the highest grossing of all time at the point, only to be outdone in 2004 by the sequel.
That's awesome.
Spider-Man was the highest grossing film of 2002 in the US and Canada, grossing $407.8 million by the end of the year. And the question of whether or not the public wanted to see comic book superheroes on the big screen had definitively been answered with a resounding yes.
Mhm.
So if it weren't for all of that, we wouldn't be here all this time later gearing up for this new Spider-Man that we're getting. And if you've watched the trailers, some of this new Spider-Man movie is going back to some of the things that are only present in this original run. The like organic web shooters and more of the mutation side to Peter Parker, because the Spider-Man that we're used to seeing in Tom Holland is almost more of like an Iron Boy type situation. You know, he was given all his stuff by Iron Man, and now he's like stripping
Mhm.
back and sort of becoming more of the more traditional Spider-Man like we see in Tobey Maguire. So that's the business, boys. What do we think coming back to this and watching it?
I am pumped we did this. I can still remember going to see this opening night with my grandparents, because like as Alex said, I am a huge comic nerd. That's where I buried my face into as a child a lot to just escape, right? Like it was like that was my escape, was video games and comics. And Spider-Man next to like Spawn and Deadpool were my favorites. Um, this movie was a joy to watch from start to finish again today. I can it was like getting to certain scenes. I'd be like, oh, this is about to happen. Like it was a lot of those moments where I'm like, oh, he's about to do the thing. He's about to, okay, that's about to happen. And it was it it holds up. That's like one of the biggest things. Or like a lot of these older comic book movies you'll watch, either they hold up or they don't. And this one can swim on its own. It holds up. It looks great. Tobey Maguire is a perfect Spider-Man. He's a perfect Peter Parker up until 3, because 3 gets a little, it is what it is. Um, Sam Raimi crushes it. Kirsten Dunst is awesome as Mary Jane. Willem Dafoe is a perfect Green Goblin and Harry Osborn. Or Norman Osborn, rather. Sorry. Um, I love this fucking movie. I love just it does get gritty. You could see a lot of Raimi in the film with some of the camera techniques. You got Bruce Campbell, you got Ash's car. So it's like Bruce and Sam and Ted are all here, and there's footprints of their work in this film. And because of those footprints, you can just see the evolution of what especially Sam Raimi is able to do with a budget, a good story, and just awesome actors. He's able to really lead these people to the finish line. And that's what this Spider-Man is. For me, it was like The Crow, Blade, and Spider-Man were definitely the three comics, and Darkman, if you're counting Darkman. But those are the three comics that became movies that I can remember going, yeah, this is going to be insane later on when they finally get the formula. And then obviously we get Spider-Man, jump to Iron Man later on, which we'll have to watch too, because that is really when this kicks off. But like, this movie's a joy. It's phenomenal. It's fun. It is pure Spider-Man comic books. Yes, there's some differences, obviously. Like in the comics, Peter makes his own web shooters, because he's incredibly smart, and they explore that in this as well. J. Jonah Jameson will never not give me a smile. Like whenever he's talking shit and taking credit and all that, it's just very J. Jonah Jameson. The suit, if I had to talk about that, is still one of my favorite Spider-Man suits. It's got to be one of my favorite Spider-Man suits. It looks so fucking clean, and it gets better through each movie. Tom Holland's great, but I love this suit. I fucking love this suit. I love this Spider-Man. I know it's canon and not canon now. I'm not caught up on the MCU, which I need to do before Doomsday and this Spider-Man. I don't have enough time for that, but I love this one. I love this. I'm not going to ramble. I love this.
It's
fucking
parallel
movie.
dimension stuff.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's like, hey, he does exist here. I like that there's room for this Spider-Man, because this is one of the most important Spider-Man movies ever made, in my opinion, because it paved the way. I'll never not love this movie. I cannot wait to sit Landon down and be like, when his attention span's a bit more, and be like, dude, you got to watch this. You're watching this today with me. It's 2 hours. Sit down. Green Goblin's also. I almost wish, because you get a little bit of like the Hobgoblin teaser from Harry, but I almost wish you would have got the two villain combo here, or like in between him fighting, like learning his superpowers, you could have ran into like someone else. You could have done like a Sandman Electro tease. You could have done something along those lines.
Wasn't Sandman is in the second or third or both?
I think he's in both second and third.
Yeah.
So no, I love this. I love this movie. I'll never not love this movie. I'll never not love this series, even number 3, even though they massacre Venom, but that's fine.
This flick, 2002 this came out. That's crazy.
Yep.
So I was 13 years old. And I didn't see I did not see it in theaters, but I did get a copy of it on DVD, and I'm pretty sure I wore that DVD out. Like, that thing didn't leave the PS2. But like, it's pure nostalgia. It holds up very well. And I'm not super big into superhero movies. I do like them. I talk trash. I'll sit down and watch them. I'm like, yeah, that was super good. Every time. That's me. It sucks.
Yeah.
But
some superhero movies are better than others for sure.
For sure. And this one is up there. It might be nostalgia, but no, it's not. It's a solid, super solid Spider-Man flick. I haven't gotten too into the new, is it Tom Holland you said?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I watched the first Tom Holland one. And how many are there now?
This is the fourth.
They're going on the fourth Tom Holland one. Oof.
Yeah. But Tom Holland's Spider-Man does appear in multiple Avengers movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that I do know. Okay,
he's a great Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
He is. He brings that. He's just a high school kid that just is confused about everything.
Yeah. Parker should always be like that wondrous, like, smart kid, right? Like, optimistic, but also a smart aleck. Like that's
Yeah.
what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. Because even like Deadpool, some comic shit, but even like Deadpool will tell Spider-Man, like, dude, don't you shut up. He's like, I thought I talked a lot.
Yeah, well,
Like,
Spider-Man's always
yeah.
been a quippy character because the real strength of Spider-Man is like something that's never even been seen. Like Spider-Man could throw a car into space if he really tried to. And one of the things, like one of the jokes I kept saying in the movie, because the whole thing about Spider-Man is he always pulls his punches.
Yes.
And in some of the later Tom Holland movies, you do get a more dark reality of what happened to the Spider-Man after the cameras cut, essentially, like after their movies ended, what happened. And you do get sort of the idea that one of them kind of let it go, like he stopped pulling his punches, and like there's an idea that if Spider-Man stopped pulling his punches, he would just like punch people's heads clean off. And I was saying, like, because it's always the same when Spider-Man gets his powers and he can't control it, and he's like, he'll go to like open the door and rip the whole door off the hinges just by accident. I think it would make for a really good, more of a dark version of Spider-Man where he doesn't know his own strength and like goes to shut a door and pushes it into like of a car and pushes the whole car into the street and causes like a huge pile up. And it's simply like that's sort of the route they were going to go at the beginning, where it was going to be more of like the horror of that strength was going to be explored, which I still would like to see. I would
love to see that.
I think they tried it a little bit in Madam Web, where they were like, oh, it's a spider power based killer type thing. But I mean, we saw how that turned out.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah. I got some fun facts.
I got one.
You do yours first, so I don't want to repeat it.
There was originally a shot of the Twin Towers in the film, but they edited that out because obviously no good. So.
Yeah. That was also that was on a promotional poster.
It was on a lot of promotional
and a commercial, I think, where you could see the reflection of the Twin Towers in the Spider-Man mask.
He's swinging from them in one commercial, I believe.
Yeah, and they had to cut that.
They had to go back really quick on that.
So the shot where he catches all the food on the tray is real. They Tobey Maguire did that 156 times, and it took 16 hours to get that shot.
What? Sam Rami, you're a dick.
That's just, I mean, Sam Raimi's putting his actors through it. You know, he just really wanted to get that shot.
Well, if you want to be in a Sam Raimi film,
yeah, you got to ask Bruce. You know, he's probably like,
he was there.
You're in for it. The suit went missing for 18 months, and Sony ended up putting up a $25,000 reward for its return. Till later, it was a former studio security guard was arrested for the theft.
Ooh, big guy, come on,
He
man.
worked with a janitor to steal the suit. What they were going to do with it, I have no idea.
Look at the Spider-Man suit heist. That's
tells grandkids. Yeah, well, I got this.
Here it is. We talked about this on our the Beyond episode it came from Screenbox. But there's a shot where Peter Parker is transforming into Spider-Man. There's a close-up shot of a large spider, and the story goes that in the editing room, Sam Raimi realized he did not have any footage of a spider for the shot and pulled a clip from Lucio Fulci's The Beyond, which he was a big fan of.
Love it.
We get, it's not much of a fun fact necessarily, but Evil Dead star Bruce Campbell makes a cameo appearance as the wrestling announcer who introduces Peter as the Amazing Spider-Man. And he also appears in the following two movies because him and Sam Raimi are tight like that. And his cameo in the third movie, I think, is the best one, where he plays like a snooty French waiter. That's Spider-Man 2.
What? This is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2002. My bad.
There you go. I was like, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm just testing you.
Bonesaw is played by Macho Man Randy Savage.
And whenever they show Bonesaw, the people in the audience have saws and they're cutting off their arms. Not unlike Mr. Bruce Campbell did in Evil Dead.
There you go. And also, Uncle Ben, R.I.P., is driving that car.
That's right. He's driving the Oldsmobile.
And I believe somebody in the Discord was arguing that against that, or was that not happening?
No,
yeah,
some of the Discord gave their theory that Uncle Ben is Ash because he has the car.
What are you, fucking stupid? He has both arms.
Yeah. I think it would have been really funny and a really good
Both hands,
cut.
rather.
Yeah, if Bruce Campbell's character, the wrestling announcer, just had the chainsaw hand and no one ever mentioned it.
I think
That
there's an
would
Evil
be-
Dead poster on Peter's wall
I
as
would
well.
be surprised.
So there's a couple shots that remind me of Army of Darkness for sure.
Yeah.
At the end, right at the end, when Green Goblin and Spider-Man are fighting, Green Goblin throws him through a window and it cuts to the stick shot through a fucking breaking window. It's all grinding.
I mean, there's some big Evil Dead stuff in this, like when he throws the when Green Goblin throws that grenade and turns them all into skeletons. That's very Army of Darkness.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, man. Sam Raimi doesn't forget his roots, and people want, if you see a Sam Raimi film, you want to see Sam Raimi do Sam Raimi things. And the Multiverse of Madness, unfortunately, that's not even all Sam Raimi's fault. That's the studio. Like, that's been proven that that's the studio coming in and go, no. And it's like, let him do his thing. So
yeah, I mean, there is some of Sam Raimi's more like his roots in Multiverse of Madness, but it's super present in this one. Like stuff that I feel like they wouldn't let him do now, and the reason why he's probably not gonna come back to superhero stuff because nobody's gonna let him do what he wants to do.
No, which is a shame. So
what do we got coming up next, boys? I think we got a couple of it came from Screenbox style, book club style picks where at least Nick and Alex are going to bring us a movie from the old dusty shelf.
Next one is Alex's, but don't spoil it, Alex.
I'm just going to say a couple things. Nick knows what it is. We're sticking with superhero.
Okay.
I'm just going to say, am I wrong?
No, it's still superhero flick.
It's still superhero. A lot of practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
And very campy.
Yep. And my next one is also a superhero flick and very campy and a lot of practical effects.
Well, then after those two, we are going back to horror. So I'm not going to give away, but if you know what's coming up, then you'll know what it is. So get ready for that.
Stay tuned. We got a lot coming up on WASD and beyond at the movies. But first, go check out all the other shows on the Awesome Spawn Camp Community Network, whatever you want to call it. Check out WASD and beyond. It came, WASD beyond at the movies, and Roll for Deception. We're not cutting it. We're not cutting it. Keep it in. We're professionals. You can check us out on YouTube if you like what you hear here. Please like, follow, subscribe. Show us to your friends. Show us to your taxi driver if you still do that, or Airbnb, whatever. Yeah, show us around. Every click, every follow, every subscribe, it helps us grow the channel and grow this podcast to become something better than what we think it is right now. And we can't do it without you. So thank you all for tuning in this week. And until next week, guys, take it easy. And with great power comes great responsibility. See ya.
Thwip. Goodbye.
Ugh.